Welcome back to Books on Point. Now that I've given you an outline of what the book Native Merchants, the Building of the Black Middle Class is about, we are joined by the author, Ndzamela. Ndzamela, thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about what inspired you to write this book and why you thought it was important to tell the story now.
Listening to you and your viewers, thanks a lot for the opportunity. You know, the project started about 8 to 9. I was sitting in the Business Day newsroom writing about companies. The then page editor, Patrick Bowser, said, you should write about finance. There's a vacuum in terms of black business stories. So the idea about 8 years ago was to write a book on black economic empowerment, do a biography of someone in the broad-based black economic empowerment space. So as we did the interview, the uniform view that came up was that we couldn't criticize broad-based black economic empowerment without understanding the history of black business. And so the research began and we started digging deep, and it took us to the pre-colonial era.
Right. So this is often a misconception, as I mentioned to the viewers, that, you know, during the diamond boom and the gold boom, there's this misconception that black people weren't doing anything. They were just sitting about. And you dispel that misconception in the book. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, Nastasia, you know, I wondered as I was doing the research, what were black people doing during the diamond boom in Kimberley, when many Europeans and Americans and Asians left their respective continents and homes, pick on hand, spade on hand, and they descended on Kimberley. Were we watching our oxen? Did we find diamond digging so boring? Were we so dumb? And so when you go to the archive, as illustrated in the book, you then get this rude awakening that black people, male and female, were actually mining in Kimberley. We mined on our own account as black people, and we sold some of the diamonds to international markets. The fourth diamond that was found in Kimberley was discovered by a Korana woman. Now the Korana are part of a koi. It was 61 carats in size, and the lady sold it for 350 pounds, and it made its way to England, and it was subsequently sold for over 1,000 pounds. So we did participate. But what happened? In 1875, some European races that couldn't compete with black people on the diamond field decided to strip them of their licenses. And there's a reason to that. You know, if you have black people digging alongside white people back then, where were you going to get labor from? So those were one of the reasons. And it was a very sad story, because when black people lost their diamond digging licenses in Kimberley, they then couldn't dig on the Witwatersrand when gold was discovered. So you can imagine the people that made money in Kimberley were able to reinvest their money, and they became the landlords of today. Their names are ingrained in universities, in art collections, and so on. And the black person has nothing but their labor show, and of course the poverty that we see lingering.
Right. We've just got less than a couple of minutes here. What do you want people to take away from this book?
Sure, that black people have always been involved in business from time immemorial. But black people never sat back and waited.
Right, we seem to have lost Phakamisa's line there. That is Phakamisa Ndzamela, who is the author of Native Merchants, the Building of Black Business Class in South Africa. We're going to take a quick break.